I didn't come to win. I came because she looked at me like I already mattered. Everyone in the room was beautiful. That was the first thing Mara Vale noticed as she stood frozen just inside the ballroom doors of the Arden Hotel, clutching an invitation she still didn't quite believe was real. Crystal chandeliers spilled light like rain. Silk gowns brushed marble floors. Soft music hummed beneath the low murmur of ambition. And every woman here wanted the same thing. Celeste Ardent. Billionaire. Tech magnate. The youngest self-made woman on the European rich list. Infamous for her privacy, her power, and the fact that she had never been publicly linked to anyone. Until tonight. Mara adjusted the sleeve of her borrowed dress, painfully aware that she didn't belong among heirs and CEOs and socialites. She was a bookstore owner from Brighton who still smelled faintly of ink and coffee most days. The only reason she was here was because, 3 weeks ago, an unmarked envelope had arrived at her shop. You are invited to participate in a private selection. No explanation. No sender. Just a date, a location, and a warning. Declining is final. She'd laughed then. Tossed it aside. But curiosity was a dangerous thing, and now she was here. The lights dimmed. The room fell silent. And Celeste Ardent stepped onto the stage. She wore black, tailored, severe, elegant. No jewelry except a thin silver ring on her thumb. Her hair was pulled back, sharp cheekbones catching the light. When she looked out over the crowd, it felt personal, like she could see through people. Mara's breath caught. Celeste spoke calmly. Confidently. I am not interested in love that performs, she said. I am not interested in marriages built for optics, mergers, or legacy. A pause. I am interested in choice. Screens behind her flickered to life, displaying the words. The selection. A ripple of shock moved through the room. For the next 8 weeks, Celeste continued, 20 women will live under observation. You will face challenges designed to test honesty, resilience, intimacy, and truth. Not perfection. Her gaze sharpened. At the end, I will choose my wife. The room exploded into whispers. Mara's heart slammed against her ribs. Wife? Celeste's eyes moved, slowly, until they landed on Mara. Held her. Just for a second. And somehow, impossibly, Mara knew. This was not a mistake. This was not random. And walking away now would cost her more than staying ever could. The next morning, they were flown by private jet to Celeste's estate on the Amalfi Coast. Mara watched the ocean appear beneath them, glittering and endless, and wondered what kind of woman designed a contest to choose a wife instead of simply falling in love like everyone else. The other contestants were intimidating. A venture capitalist from New York. A retired Olympic fencer. An heiress who smiled like she already owned everything. An actress who spoke in practiced vulnerability. And then there was Mara, quiet, observant, wearing flats while everyone else wore heels. She expected to be ignored. She wasn't. Celeste noticed her in small, unsettling ways. The way her attention lingered when Mara spoke. The way she asked Mara questions no one else thought to ask. The way she seemed almost softer with her. During the first challenge, an interview filmed in private, Celeste asked one question only. Why are you here? Others spoke of destiny. Of love. Of courage. Mara swallowed and said the truth. I don't think you're looking for someone who wants you, she said carefully. I think you're looking for someone who won't disappear when you stop being impressive. Silence. Celeste leaned back, studying her. And for the first time, she smiled, small, real, and dangerous. By week 2, the rules were clear. No physical intimacy. No alliances. No lying. Breaking any rule meant immediate elimination. Which made the tension unbearable. Mara found herself drawn to Celeste in quiet moments, late-night conversations, shared silences on balconies, the rare laughter Celeste didn't seem to offer anyone else. But attraction was not the same as safety. And Celeste Ardent did not become a billionaire by trusting easily. As the women were eliminated one by one, some gracefully, some bitterly, it became clear. This wasn't just a contest. It was a reckoning. And the closer Mara got to winning, the more terrifying the prize became. Because choosing Celeste meant choosing a life that would never be simple. And Celeste? She was already choosing Mara in ways that scared them both. Elimination was never announced with cruelty. That was what made it worse. Celeste stood beneath the olive trees, hands folded behind her back, as the remaining women gathered in a semicircle. The sea glittered behind her like a reminder of how easily someone could disappear. "This is not about worth," she said calmly. "It is about alignment." One name was spoken. A woman cried. Another clenched her jaw. Someone stormed away. Mara felt it like a tremor beneath her skin. She hadn't realized how fragile everything was until it proved it could end so quietly. That night, she found Celeste alone in the library. "You don't watch them leave," Mara said. Celeste didn't turn. "If I do, I'll stop." "For what?" Celeste finally faced her. "Choosing." For the first time, Mara saw it clearly. This wasn't power. It was restraint sharpened into armor. The next challenge was announced without warning. 2 women per room. 1 night. No cameras. Conversation only, the facilitator said. You'll be evaluated on emotional awareness. Mara's name was paired with Iris Caldwell, the heiress. Iris smiled too easily. Talked too much. Asked pointed questions about Mara's background, her money, her lack of everything this place valued. "You know you're an anomaly here," Iris said lightly, sipping wine. "Celeste doesn't usually favor ordinary." Mara said nothing. But when she returned to the common area the next morning, she found Celeste waiting, eyes sharp, jaw tight. "Did Iris upset you?" Mara blinked. "You ask that like it matters." Celeste's voice dropped. "It does." Jealousy, Mara realized, didn't look loud on Celeste Ardent. It looked controlled. And that was far more dangerous. Someone began leaking stories. Private conversations twisted into rumors. Confessions reframed as manipulation. A contestant was accused, wrongly, of lying during an early interview. Mara knew before anyone said it. This place was turning. During a group exercise, Celeste abruptly ended the session. "Someone here believes winning requires destruction," she said coolly. "They are mistaken." Eyes flicked toward Mara. Not accusing. Measuring. That night, Mara confronted Celeste on the terrace. "You think it's me," Mara said quietly. Celeste didn't deny it. "I think you're capable of influence you don't recognize." Mara felt something fracture. "I would walk away before I poison this," she said. "But don't confuse my silence for strategy." Celeste watched her go, fists clenched. And for the first time, Mara slept without dreaming of her. The breaking point came fast. Another contestant was eliminated after evidence, false evidence, surfaced against her. Tears. Accusations. Silence. Mara packed her bag. She was halfway down the stairs when Celeste appeared, blocking her path. "You're not leaving," Celeste said. Mara laughed bitterly. "You don't get to command me." Celeste's voice cracked, just once. "I don't know how to do this without losing you." The words hung between them, naked and terrifying. Mara lowered her bag. Not because she believed the contest, but because she believed her. The next test was brutal. Each woman had to confess something they'd never told anyone, on camera. No editing. Mara's turn came last. "I'm afraid," she said. "Not of losing, but of being chosen for the wrong reasons." I don't want to be the quiet relief from your chaos. I want to be the storm you walk into willingly. The room was silent. Celeste's eyes were wet. That night, she broke the rules. She found Mara. Didn't touch her. Just whispered, "You terrify me." Mara whispered back, "Good." The saboteur was revealed. Iris. Disqualified. Furious. Exposed. I was never going to lose to her, Iris spat, pointing at Mara. She doesn't belong in your world. Celeste's response was ice cold. She belongs exactly where she chooses to stand. And for the first time, Celeste took Mara's hand in public. The cameras caught everything. Only 5 women remained. The rules relaxed. No curfews. No separation. Tension coiled. Mara and Celeste shared a midnight swim, Moonlight painting Celeste silver. Words fell away. Hands hovered, but didn't cross the line. "If I choose you," Celeste said softly, "this ends being a game." Mara met her gaze. "It already has." They kissed. Slow. Careful. Honest. And neither slept afterward. The final challenge wasn't public. Each woman was given a letter. Describe the life you would refuse for her. Mara wrote until her hand ached. Celeste read it alone. And cried. The final elimination left 2 women standing. Mara, and a polished diplomat with a flawless future plan. That night, Mara prepared herself to lose. She stood barefoot on the cliffside when Celeste approached. "I don't want the life that looks right," Celeste said. "I want the one that feels true." She took Mara's hands. "I choose you." The world exploded. Headlines. Opinions. Outrage. Mara struggled with exposure. Celeste struggled with surrender. They fought. They learned. They chose each other daily. Which turned out to be harder, and better, than any contest. They married quietly. No press. No drama. Just vows spoken barefoot by the sea. Celeste whispered, "I would choose you in any lifetime." Mara answered, "Even without the prize." Years later, the show was remembered as a stunt. But the marriage? That was legend. Because the real victory was never being chosen. It was being seen, and staying. The Amalfi sun hung low over the coast, painting the water gold and rose. Mara stood barefoot on the terrace of the villa, tracing the hand-carved railing with her fingers. She could hear laughter echoing from the gardens, Celeste's laughter, rich and unrestrained, and it filled a space in her chest she didn't know existed until she met her. Years had passed since the contest, since the cameras and the whispered rumors and the world that had thought their love was a game. Those moments had shaped them, yes, but they hadn't defined them. The years after had been the real story. Celeste appeared beside her, silently, wrapping an arm around Mara's waist. Still staring at the horizon, she asked, a soft smile playing on her lips. Mara leaned into her. "It never looks the same," she said. "And yet, somehow, it always feels like home." Celeste kissed the top of her head. "You built this home. With me. With all of us." Their daughter, Alara, ran past them on the terrace, bare feet and sun-kissed hair, giggling as she chased a butterfly. Mara's heart swelled at the sight, and she felt a quiet joy, the kind that had nothing to do with wealth, fame, or power. She and Celeste had built something enduring. Something real. They had faced challenges most people would never understand. Rivalry. Jealousy. The world watching every step of their courtship. And yet, through it all, they had chosen each other. Every day, every small decision, every whispered promise and stolen glance had led here, to this sunlit terrace, to a life that was theirs and theirs alone. Mara remembered the contest, the anxiety, the fear, the the nights she thought she wouldn't survive the scrutiny of ambition and spectacle. And now she laughed softly, because she knew the truth. It had never been about winning. It had been about finding the one person who would see her, truly see her, and choose her anyway. Celeste tightened her hold. "Do you ever regret it?" she asked, voice low. Mara shook her head. "Never. Not for a single second. And if I had to do it all over, I would. Every challenge. Every heartbreak. Every moment that made me doubt myself. Because it brought me to you." Celeste turned, cupping Mara's face in her hands. "You are braver than you know. And more beautiful than I could have imagined." They kissed, slow and unhurried, the kind of kiss that carried decades of trust, passion, and shared memories. Mara rested her forehead against hers and whispered, "We've built something no one can take from us. A life, a family, a love, ours." Elara ran back toward them, breathless, and Celeste lifted her into her arms, laughing. Mara watched them, feeling a deep warmth spread through her, knowing that the quiet, ordinary, breathtaking moments, were the legacy that truly mattered. The cameras were gone. The contest was a memory. The world continued spinning, indifferent and noisy, but here, on this terrace, surrounded by the people she loved most, Mara felt a peace she had never known. She glanced at Celeste, then at Elara, and whispered a truth that had carried her through every storm. "We chose each other. And we'll keep choosing each other, for the rest of our lives." The sun dipped below the horizon, setting the sea on fire. And for Mara, Celeste, and Elara, it felt like the world had finally paused, just for them.